potential tropical cyclone 18 is gradually getting better and better organized and is likely to become a tropical storm very shortly, maybe later today, as it is going to be approaching Jamaica. It is also getting bigger in size. Hi everyone, this is Dani'i and welcome to my update video for this morning. I trust and hope you're doing amazing today. So we're going to be talking about our disturbance in the Caribbean, which is developing into the next named storm of the hurricane season. And looking at this graphic, we see another area highlighted. Now, this is not the same area where we saw that yellow X, because that had lost its potential completely to develop, since it would be interacting with the disturbance in the Caribbean right now. But over the next couple of days, we could see some development try to take place again north of the Caribbean and into the vicinity of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands. But of course, we'll be talking about that as it happens. But as it pertains to now, the concern is potential tropical cyclone 18, which is expected to become RAFAEL later today. So we're looking at the satellite imagery here of the North Atlantic now, and we can see that there is some activity out there. So all of that convection is associated with the tropical wave that's approaching, and we see all that activity in the central Caribbean associated with or developing storm. So as we zoom closer into the Caribbean here, we can see all of this convection. Now we're seeing a lot more activity associated with it, around twice the activity compared to what we saw last night, for example. So it is gradually getting better and better organized, and this is something that I had mentioned yesterday in terms of impacts being far from the center. I did mention the fact that there's going to be a lot of rain in Haiti as well, even though the center of the system is expected to pass just west of Jamaica. Look at all this activity now, with everything generally moving up to the northwest. All of this rain is going to be moving in. So this is why we don't pay so much attention to where exactly that center is, because the impacts are going to be far from it. And in terms of today, it is later today when the impacts in Jamaica are expected to begin from the system in terms of the increased rainfall, but the worst of it is going to be tomorrow. For the past couple of days, that hasn't changed in terms of Tuesday, tomorrow Tuesday being the day of the worst of the impacts and the tropical storm impacts in Jamaica. But the main concern is going to be the rainfall with all of that. And of course, those gusty winds could result in those power outages across the island. And the Jamaica Public Service has stated that it is ready to respond. So with the adverse weather expected, they're making their preparations to restore power as quickly as possible to areas that will lose it as the system makes its way into the area. So this morning, you may notice that there are some sunny skies, but as the day progresses, conditions are expected to gradually deteriorate. Elsewhere across the Caribbean, there are some showers around here and there. So near the Leeward Islands, for example, there's been some showers in the area, parts of the Dominican Republic as well. But overall, aside from PTC 18, potential tropical cyclone 18, there isn't anything to really keep an eye on aside from that for right now. And going on to the rainfall forecast now from Euro. So this goes to early tomorrow morning, around 3 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So we can see all these different colorful shadings, and the more color we see indicates more rainfall. So it's likely to be an active day in parts of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. We can see those orange and red shadings around, maybe up to an inch of rainfall or so. Similar thing for a couple spots in Cuba and Hispaniola. And again, the rain is going to start moving in later today for Jamaica. We can see those very colorful shadings noted within the area. A lot of that is going to be offshore for now, though. But as we go throughout the day tomorrow, it's going to get a lot worse, as I keep reiterating that. And then as we head towards Central America, going to the Pacific coast of a lot of the territories is likely to be quite active with some heavy rain. And especially for Costa Rica and Panama, we see those purple shadings starting to pop up. So going 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. Showers are likely going to be around as well for parts of the Cayman Islands, as well as the offshore islands of San Andreas, Providencia. Parts of Colombia and Venezuela will be a little bit active, but going to the Guyanas. For Guyana, there will likely be some showers around here and there, but it's not going to be the case for the entirety of the territory. For Suriname, French Guiana, it's likely to be on the drier side. We're not really seeing any colorful shadings there. Throughout much of the Lesser Antilles, as we look to our Trinidad, Tobago, even going all the way up through Anguilla, we see some colorful shadings in some areas, some of those orange and those yellows. So there could definitely be some periods of some heavy downpours across the various islands. Some Similar story for parts of Puerto Rico as well as the Virgin Islands and down to the ABC Islands. Some of the activity associated with PTC 18 is nearby, so that may help to influence the rainfall, and hopefully you guys receive some downpours today because it's been quite hot and dry in the area. So that is what is anticipated as it pertains to the rainfall activity for today. Now, this is the latest look at the graphic, the cone forecast for the potential tropical cyclone. There we still see Jamaica in that blue highlight indicating that tropical storm warning, and the Cayman Islands within that pink highlight indicating that hurricane watch. So as I mentioned, as we head throughout today, going into later today, that is really when the impacts are going to start for Jamaica. And as we head into early tomorrow, this is the expected location of the center of the system, 1 a.m. tomorrow. So it's going to be just offshore. So there's likely to be those tropical storm conditions in terms of those storm force winds, the very rough seas, maybe a bit of coastal inundation as well, that storm surge, although that's not expected to be major because we're not going to be talking about a very strong system. However, nonetheless, it is going to be bringing dangerous impacts. And as I have reiterated multiple times, it's going to be the water that brings the concern, the flooding, and even the potential of those mudslides as well. So guys, please stay safe. Again, much not expected this morning, but as the day goes on, especially as we head into this evening and tonight and into tomorrow, that is going to be when the worst of the impacts starts in the island. And then eventually the Cayman Islands will start experiencing impacts as we head into tomorrow as well, and the system could become a hurricane between Isle of Youth and the Cayman Islands. So that's Isle of Youth in western Cuba, and it could hit Cuba as a hurricane. So we'll see how it strengthens over the course of the next day or so. But in terms of our models here, so the models are in pretty decent agreement about it becoming a tropical storm, but also reaching hurricane status. We have a few models expecting that this could become a bit stronger, potentially making it to Cat 2 status. We have that one model showing that, hey, this could even be a Cat 3. So we'll see what happens with the system, but that will all be dependent on the environment. And that is exactly what I want to go on to next, the environmental conditions. So firstly, we have these very warm waters, not only warm at the surface, far beneath the surface. So there's a lot of heat energy to support the system developing. Next, we're looking at this graphic here for those upper level winds. It may be a little bit confusing, but we see the white outline of the different land areas. And then we see these red, yellow, and green lines. Now, the green lines indicate those areas where the upper level winds are not too strong. And that is what helps to support development, because those upper level winds won't be interfering with the system trying to get itself together. The yellow lines indicate neutral conditions in terms of the wind shear, like, the shear isn't the best, but it's also not the worst. And then those red lines indicate the areas where those upper level winds are a bit stronger, and that will try to interfere with development of the system. Now, the Caribbean has been gradually getting more and more favorable. Right now it is in an area of favorable upper level winds, so that will certainly aid in development. And then in terms of the moisture and the dry air, we see a lot of dry air across the Gulf of Mexico and offshore the United States, but in the vicinity of the system, we're not seeing all those vibrant colors. So that's not going to be a problem, because sometimes once these systems are developing and the dry air intrudes, that helps to limit the amount of convection in association with them. That's not going to be a problem for this system here. So conditions are getting very much ideal to allow it to gradually strengthen. And it's evident that it is taking advantage of those conditions, especially looking at it now compared to yesterday. So it's getting better organized. Those impacts will commence soon. And of course, guys, I'll continue to keep you posted on all that is going on with the system. So please stay safe as best as you can. I definitely will as well, because I'm in St. James, Jamaica. So I'll be taking the necessary precautions from my end with my family. And I'll continue to keep you guys posted as time goes by. So that is it for this update video today. And I really do hope you found it to be informative. However, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll respond to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always do otherwise.